Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens. This one, it will be Fiji taking on the Spanish, two sides who have done extremely well throughout their opening contests. And now they find themselves going head-to-head, looking through at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Fijians, it is going to be Sevu Mothunotangi, Jeremiah Matana, Tario Vailawa, George Balsi, Mosisi Ranona. Hopefully I've said that name correctly, Tario Wailangi, and then also Sakiusa Sanila, the last man in the starting side. So this lineup to me says Fiji know that they are in a good position and that they should be able to go through to the quarters no matter what. So they've gone with a few new guys, give them a bit of a chance. Here for Spain, it is Valencias, Joseph Sedes, Alejandro Laforga, Trevor Thick, Ponce, Manteca, and Eduardo Lopez, the last man in the side. Do you have any prediction for the quarterfinals, says Kiwi Rob? Honestly, no. I don't actually know who's set up for who in terms of who could end up playing, but I think that Spain and Fiji are through in this group. I believe it will be South Africa and New Zealand from Pool B, and then more than likely it will be Argentina alongside, who else would, maybe France in that group, I guess, would also go through. And then, of course, you've got your third best teams that we will get to see very soon as well. Currently, there is about 100 seconds remaining of Uruguay versus USA. This is the first of three games that we are going to be covering in this morning session. And then we will be getting straight into those quarterfinals that are all taking place in the near future. I'm asking for the Australian woman, says Kiwi Rob. In terms of the women's side of things, I'm not actually too sure who is sitting where on the table. I haven't seen too many of the updates to do with those ones. I think doesn't sound very Spanish. Depends on how you say it. I'm probably saying it incorrectly, I would say. Yeah, in terms of those quarterfinal times for the men's side of things, we are going to get to see the first quarterfinal at 1:51 p.m. Then the second match is at 2:13, third 2:35, and fourth at 2:57. Oh, that's nice. We've got a different ad that's just popped up down the bottom other than the female ones. We see a golf cart and some shoes and a cowboy hat. Lovely. But the match between USA and Uruguay is still going on a little bit. Uruguay are in the lead up against the USA. Yeah, in terms of the benches for these two sides, for the Fijians, it is absolutely stacked. Waisia Natungu, Felipe Saturanga, Ilikimi Vunaki, Georgie Nasova, and Josefa Talotholo. So of those guys off the bench, they don't actually have Tario Vailawa. Instead, he gets to start in this contest. He's been fighting for those starting minutes, but it's been quite difficult to get them at times. I'll watch your prediction on the Blitzbox versus Australia. I do think that South Africa should be able to get themselves the win in that contest. But at the same time, Australia, they were able to beat Ireland in their opening contest. Please get some sleep. Hamish says, JD, yeah, we've still got a little while till we do get to sleep. Unfortunately, it will still be another good few hours, I would say. But, yeah, we'll get some sleep at some point. I plan to anyway. Is that a golf cart? It looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like a mini, maybe replica golf cart, possibly, with a few shoes next to it. Yeah, this game only about a minute away, I'd say, from taking place. Uruguay are just going to go for the scrum and put the ball into touch, so they will beat the USA in this matchup, and that might be just enough to get them into the quarterfinals. We will have to wait and see, though, when it comes to that points differential. Both of these sides have been beaten badly by Fiji, who have been on an absolute tear throughout this one. Where will the quarterfinals be in South African time, says LFG. So South African time, it's not that fun, I do have to say. Like, the quarterfinals will be 2:51 a.m., 3:13 a.m., 3:35 a.m., and 3:57 a.m. Is it a big golf cart or a toy? It looks like a toy to me. Normally, most things off Temu are a lot smaller than you expect them to be. Oh, and now for some reason they've gone, hey, here's a woman's blouse in there too. Italy versus France under 20 starts at 8:35 a.m. Says Kiwi Rob. During that time, we will be doing the matchup between South Africa and Australia, but the Fijians now out onto the park, ready to go for another fixture of the Sevens, having a huddle right next to the Spanish. So a little bit of mind games already being played by both of these sides who said they want to do their huddles on the halfway line. And sometimes we think we can buy a golf cart, but it's a toy, and we can't fit into it. There's Mr. Marmite. Couldn't have said it better myself. Guthrie Barron. Getting a bit of oils going by the looks of that one too. Just random ones that just pop up. But now, Nick Hogan, 119th match for that man. He has got a huge amount of experience under the belt. Will be Fiji, by the looks of it, kicking off this one from left to right. They're talking about the fact that Paul Pla is not there, and same with Manu Moreno. Not exactly what they want here heading into these important games. Now it's going to be a loose ball. Spain managing to clean it up though. And they've gone back to the shoes. Off to the right-hand side. Spain deep inside of their own territory. Nice run forward from Trevor. Now 30 seconds already passed. Sevens will fly by, seeing as we've done a lot of union already today. Now back across this near side of the field. Tackle made by George Balsi. Now Eduardo Lopez. Back across to the right here for Spain. Just going pretty much touchline to touchline here. Manteca. Drag down La Forga. Will play half. Now just continuing to keep the ball in hand. It's going to be Joseph Ceres. A good tackle. Looks like it's driven the air out of him. Going to be a little bit slow getting back up to his feet. La Forga. Wide cut out pass to Manteca again. Back to the left. Fiji unable to get their hands on the ball just at this current point in time. Ponce tries to get through. Well defended by Fiji. Manteca almost sneaks there, but good last ditch effort from Mosisi. Now to the left-hand side again. Joseph Ceres going on the outside to the big man, Valencias. Eduardo Lopez plays half-back. Bounce pass going to La Forga. Trevor Thick. Ball on the outside to Manteca, gets around, and the inside ball to La Forga will lead to the first try of the contest, and it is Spain who have been able to get it. Now, that is not an unfamiliar sight for the Spanish up against the Fijians. They often have been able to score first. That's what they're able to do from here. It will be the big difference maker. And I said 2 minutes of ball in hand, and that is all it took for Spain to be able to score it. I say all it took. It was quite a drawn-out process. Is the reason why you are delayed. Says Kiwi Rob. It is because I'm watching on Sky Sport now here in New Zealand. So there is about a 30-second delay on top of course, the YouTube delay that we have as well. Let's go Spain, says LFG. Spain are now leading this contest 7 points to 0. Fiji will have to find their way back into it. Ready to kick this one off high yet again. Well taken by George Balsi. Thoughts on the Highlanders versus Blues? Great game for the Highlanders. Yes, they were down to 13 at one point. Tell you what, we're going to have to come back to that because La Forga having a foot race here with Tario Vailawa, who will pass it back on the inside. And Walangi will now score the try. And Fiji, just like that, are back into the contest. But yeah, in terms of what the Highlanders were able to do, they just kept on digging deeper and deeper. And then the Blues were just too ill-disciplined. Their handling was awful in that match, unfortunately. It will get better as the match goes on. Why the delay, says Godwin. And there, like I said, Sky Sport now does have the slight delay here in New Zealand. So that is why it is about 30 seconds or so. But try has been scored by the Fijians to now make the score 7 points to 7 after only about 3.5 minutes in this first half. Like they've said, it's an impressive start to the match for the Fijians. And what is a rob, says Mr. Marmite. Now it's going to be slapped back by Spain, who have managed to retain this position. Joseph Ceres almost chucking that one over his teammate's head. Off to the right-hand side. Trying to find their way through. I like philosophy, says Mr. Marmite. Now La Forga. Gets it away to Joseph Ceres. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Big shot from Sivu Mothenothang. Pretty much stopped Eduardo Lopez in his tracks. La Forga. Back to the right-hand side again. Nice stepping coming. And our Ireland good at sevens. They are not too bad. They've had some good wins in the past. That's going to be the penalty on the way of the Fijian. Trio Valawa now tells the dummy. Tries to go straight through. He's going to have his ankle held onto. But now Spain making a defensive error, which leads to a chance for the Fijians. And it will be another try for the Fijians. Scotland came close there, Xander. Extremely close to getting the victory there. And in the end, just very narrowly missing out. Rio Vailawe was just lurking there, waiting to find that next pass. Gives it off to Wailangi, who got the offload. Rakona, man who does score it, and the kick has gone over 2. So 14 points to 7. Scotland didn't come close. The Tenerife came close, says Mr. Marmite. Now 80 seconds left. Fiji still have the chance of being able to score another one here, but Spain might be able to come back into this contest. Now, with a win here, Fiji would find themselves going through to the quarterfinals. Same can be said about the Spanish, and we will keep you updated in terms of the quarterfinal layout as we get closer to the end of the group stages. Now the ball is back into the hands of George Balsi after another mistake is made by Spain. They're just rushing it at the moment, not allowing those passes to stick. Now going off to the right-hand side for George Balsi. Nice offload there. And it's going to be Sanila keeps the ball alive. And it's going to be the penalty going the way of the Spanish for the high tackle. Currently we're seeing 35 passes from Spain, yet Fiji are the team with the points on the board, or at least the extra points. That one has gone out again. Spain now have the opportunity for the line-out 1-point game, says JD. Yeah, extremely close between those two sides. Now Spain, should mention, these two sides are actually tied for first at the moment on the Sevens circuit alongside the Argentines. Halftime siren just now sounding. Eduardo Lopez gets it off the inside to Ponce, who has knocked that ball on. The ref's going to say play on here, though, by the looks of it. Now another chance here for Juan Ramos. On the halfway line, Fiji. Nope, they've been penalised for that one. And it was another game to indicate that the place kicker is the most important player on the field. That Finn India cost Scotland the game. So here's Bruce. Yeah, unfortunately just really off the radar for his kicking accuracy. Looks like Spain are going to take on the scrum here. Looks like a sub is also going to be made. But I will mention the next game that we are covering. It is New Zealand versus Ireland. That then followed by Australia versus South Africa. So if you guys are new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for these matches. We are back for the quarterfinals too. And like I said, at the moment, they aren't completely confirmed, but when they are, we will be letting you know. And a 1-point game for England, same as last week against France, says JD. Now Ramos feeds that ball in. Chance there off the back for the Spanish. They will go away to the left-hand side. Another attack and run down the wing, and just going to keep this ball alive again. Now back to the right-hand side. Now attack and run from Trevor Thick. We should mention this is still the first half, by the way. Seven Mothenothang. He says that's enough of that, though. And we are now going into halftime, 14 points to 7. A close game between these two sides and still plenty more close matches be on the cards. But I feel like the X factor off the bench here for Fiji is what could help increase a bit more of the lead. I mean, Juan Ramos making his way onto the field for the Spanish. He is a very handy player, but not having Paul Pla and also no Manu Moreno, that is such a huge hit for the Spanish team. But second half is going to absolutely fly by, as it often does for the Sevens. Anytime that we start a Sevens tournament, all of a sudden we're at the finals, which both of these sides have already qualified for from the way that they have been playing. Just have a quick look and see whether or not we got any sort of confirmedness in terms of who will be playing who in the quarterfinals. In fact, we'll have a look on my phone. That will have a better indicator, I would say. For the Vancouver Sevens in the men, the quarterfinals, it is going to be the best of Pool A, which we are not in, I don't believe, for these two sides. No, they're in Pool C. So the winner of this game will face the second place team in Pool A. And Pool A consists of, one moment, it is France, Argentina, and then also Kenya and Great Britain. So a pretty tough group overall. Whoever loses this game will finish second in Pool A, and they will be going up against the first in Pool C, which means that they will be facing off against, first in Pool C, second in Pool A, and then second in Pool C will be up against, second in Pool B. So that is either New Zealand, Ireland, South Africa, or Australia. So either way, two tough games coming up for these two sides, no matter where they find themselves situated. Nicely taken by the Fijians. Now, Sanyila with the ball on the inside to Vunaki. Now off to the left again. And Fiji just retreating here. Not in any sort of hurry by the looks of it. Just trying to find that next gap, and that was almost it. Still 10 metres out from their own try line though. Just talking about the early culmination of the Sevens circuit. That's a steal in the breakdown though from Spain, and that's a knock on just as they were about to cross the try line. The hands let them down again. We see Australia warming up in the background. They are, of course, facing the blitz box. Not an easy contest. But just having that overlap and then the knock on. Sound like a double blow of the referee's whistle. I assume that is going to be for another sub. The advantage was also over, so Fiji will now have the line out. And Felipe Soturanga in the background, waiting for his chance to make his way on. Josefa Talatholo, he is in there too. A lot of guys that can completely change a game when they do get the chance. Now to Rio Vailawa. Who you got between USA or Australia and South Africa? I think that South Africa should take it, although Australia are a handy enough side when they get it right. Vilakimi now with a big fend. And just sits down the man in front of him. Bit of wrestling going on. And that's actually going to be the penalty going the way of Spain. And Blitzbox next says, Bruce, not quite. Next game will be Ireland versus New Zealand. So that one is kicking off at 8:14 New Zealand time. And then the game after that is the South Africa versus Australia. That is at 8:36. So we're not a mile away from those two matches. But yeah, the South Africans in action in about 25 minutes' time. Just showing the angle there. It was a very important turnover steal for the Spanish, who are still keeping themselves well and truly in this matchup. Like I mentioned, whoever wins this game will be facing off against whoever is second in the group with Argentina, Kenya, Great Britain, and France, so that'll more than likely be whoever doesn't win Argentina versus France's head-to-head. Do both these teams go through regardless of who wins? Pretty much, yeah. So I don't think there's any way for either of these sides to miss out, just with the way that they are currently sitting with 2 wins from 2 for both of them. I thought so, says Bruce. Going back across to the right-hand side. Bit of a rough pass there from Spain, but still available. It's stagnant at the moment. Fiji going for the counter ruck. That looked like a little bit of a croc roll there from the Fijian who was dominating this game. Honestly, like, Fiji have had the ball more, but I wouldn't say there's so much as dominating. It's just more of the case of, there's a bit of back and forth. Spain have had more possession. Uruguay have got 3 points at the moment. So keep that in mind when it comes to who are the best third place teams. What time it's quarterfinal South African time? Have to set an alarm, says Johan. So would you like to know just the one that South Africa will more than likely be in, or just the times of all of them? Because quarterfinals, the first one that's happening is going to be at 2:51 a.m. South African time. So definitely the one keep an eye out for. Now Juan Ramos to feed the ball in once again at scrum time. Fiji's still up by 7, but that can change in an instant. And it might do here. Now, Ramos driven backwards. Manteka goes on the outside of South Africa playing tomorrow, says Mohadin. So South Africa playing in about 20 minutes' time up against Australia, and then they will also have a game in about maybe 6 hours' time, and they are going head-to-head in that one up against a random team who are also in the quarterfinals. Now Spain, with the ball in hand, they are going to use this one out wide, and it's going to be a bit of a foot race towards the corner. I think Trevor Thick is going to win that one, and the try goes the way of Spain. They'll get back into the contest, but it isn't going to be the easiest kick in the world. Trevor Thick does get the try out wide. Like they've just said, a patient build-up here for Spain, not rushing it. Waiting for their opportunity and just firing at one side to the other of the field. Has got that kick. So it does make the score 14 points to 14. 2.5 minutes left now on the clock. Will the other game of South Africa be live in South Africa? I assume that they would have it on the same broadcaster as they had for the others, but of course we are going to be covering it on the channel as well. Foot race, never seen a hand race. Says Mr. Marmite. What if people are doing handstands and trying to race each other though? Surely that's a hand race. Now near the touchline, that looked like Spain might have actually been in touch. Now going back across to the left-hand side here for the Spanish. Pass it off. Oh, that looked a bit high from Fiji. The advantage is in their favour. Sounds like the scrum is going to be the call here. An interesting choice, but it could work. Do you sleep a bit? Or did you sleep a bit? I haven't slept since yesterday. I think I got like an hour's nap about maybe 8 hours ago. But other than that, we've been up since about 7 a.m. yesterday. It's currently 8 a.m. the day after. Yes, I want to see a hand race, please. Says Mr. Marmite. Well, you've got to find 2 people who are very good at walking on their hands. And now going back across here. Chance for Spain. If they can score now, they might just about secure this contest. Going back across to the left-hand side, La Furga running straight at the Fijian, who will get penalised for not being able to roll away. Pretty much got cemented underneath of the breakdown. Now Joseph Ceres will score it between the posts. And Spain now give themselves the lead. This is going to be a very interesting one now, ladies and gents. Not a lot of time left on the clock. And La Forga just getting the pass away to Josep Ceres. I assume that this kick should go over. 30 seconds left on the clock now. 21-14, the way that the score currently sits. How long is this game? Still another 15 seconds or so. Back soon. One of our guests just arrived at the barn in Wellington. Says Bruce. And the pain in Spain, says Mr. Marmite, but it's going to be kicked off high now. Chance under the high ball, and Fiji have managed to at least retain it, but they have to get themselves these 7 points if they want to win this contest. And I mentioned about it, there is a spot on the line up against some pretty tough opposition in the future, so you do not want to be losing this one. Josefa Talatholo. Going to be a bit of a foot race for the big man. Isolated by Spain. Gets his offload up. Fiji cutting towards the touchline. Georgie Nasova. Now nicely done by the big man. Funaki gets it away to Saturanga. And we more than likely are going to golden point time, ladies and gentlemen. And the Forgay has a phenomenal mustache. Says bystander. But just adding a bit more drama to this matchup. Or can they end as a draw? Maybe there's no golden point in this case. It does go over. Is that full time? Is it? I think it's golden point. I could be wrong though. I think we still have to... No, I think it just finishes as 21. I don't think they play golden point. Okay, so both of these sides drawing, which means Fiji finish first and then Spain finishing second. So Fiji will face off against the second place team in Pool A. And then in this one, Spain have to eagerly await to find out who they will be playing, more than likely either South Africa or New Zealand. And the suspense says Dennis. So yeah, end score in this contest, 21-21. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Away. No, we are going to extend time. Are we? Hang on. Yeah, they are. Or are they? Yeah, no, they are going to it. Only in quarter semis and finals for added time, although it looks like they are doing the coin toss now, which means that this game is not over. It means that we are going to go to golden point time. It's lucky we didn't end the stream. We were just about to. But they are doing the coin toss. So it is not all done and dusted as of yet. We better change the times that those other matches are taking place. It is going to be slightly more delayed. Probably around 8:40 for South Africa versus Australia and New Zealand versus Ireland. It would be optimistic to say it will be at 8:20. So we'll go 8:25 just to make sure that we have got plenty of leeway. But golden point time is about to take place here. 14 minutes of fast-paced action between these two teams. And like I said, this one still has plenty left. This is to work out who will qualify top of Pool C. So it is still to be determined whether or not it will be Spain or Fiji facing up against the second team in Pool A. How do golden time work? So pretty much whoever scores the next points wins this game. So you could score a try, you could get a drop kick, a penalty, anything along those lines. You just need the one form of points to be able to get it. But here we go. Fiji, they are going to be kicking off this one. More than likely, they will look for the long kickoff from Tario Vailawa. And that is exactly what they've decided to do here for the Fijians. Spain only sitting about 10 metres out from their line. Lopez, early knock on from the Spanish. And this is going to give Fiji a perfect opportunity to get the counter. Now, I should mention, no matter what happens here, we are still going to see both of these sides advancing through to the next stage, but that is going to be an extremely frustrating one for the Spanish, definitely because they've worked so hard to get to that golden point, just to allow Fiji to come straight in and now have a great chance of being able to win it. It's normally pretty tough to stop the Fijians from scoring this close to the line. Not many sides are able to do it. I think they'll go short side here. Spain have got 3 on this near side of the field and just the halfback on the far side. So I think Fiji will play it strategically and Tario Vailawa will back himself to go around Juan Ramos, yep, going to the short side now. But they have shut him down. Nice work from Juan Ramos. Now La Forga tries to get the turnover. He has given away the penalty. Is it Golden says, kid, it is indeed. So whoever scores next will win this golden point time. On the outside now for the Fijians. Nice step in the middle from Felipe Saturanga. Protecting it well for Fiji. Talatholo trying to go through. Fends off Eduardo Lopez. Looking for that next pass. He's getting his arm almost ripped off. But he gets it away to Saturanga. And I think he's scored it. They might want to check this one. They feel like there could have been the knock on. But I think this is the try. I think Saturanga has done it. TMO says, no, mum. Yeah, we don't see it too often, a TMO involved in the Rugby Sevens. But now it's a chance. So he was the man who scored the initial try for Fiji to take them into the golden point period. And he may award the try, and Fiji do get it. So they will go through as the top qualifier now, and they will face off against the second side in Pool A. But nonetheless, we will be transferring straight over to our next live stream, which is going to be the matchup between New Zealand and Ireland. I do thank you all very much for tuning in, and we will see you all for the next one.